Hey guys, Bypass Man here, coming at you with a update for my recent hospitalization. I had a bleeding ulcer for the second time. Those of you that have known me for a while know that I had an ulcer last year and I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. This time I was only in the hospital for 4 days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I went in Monday afternoon, got out Thursday afternoon, I believe. Anyway, I wanted to talk about it a little bit because, not that it's I don't know if it's becoming more of a common side effect, or from the RNY gastric bypass. I think they are seeing more of this type of ulcer. I'm going to explain it to you a little bit. Basically, well, how do you know you have a bleeding ulcer? Well, let's start there. First symptoms you're going to get really is either you're going to become weak, or the second symptom you're going to get is you're going to have black stool. I don't like the word stool, so we're just going to call it poop. Yeah, so last year I went to go to the bathroom and I had very runny diarrhea kind of stuff, We're all adults here, right? Maybe. Yeah, so yeah, it was runny and it was black, man, like dark, like really dark, like scary black night dark. And that was a little sign for me, so I was like, because I never seen that before, I was like, that is not right. Why is it so dark? And the reason why it's dark is because it's an upper gastrical something. It's a big long word. Bleed. The higher the bleed is, it's going to be blacker coming out. And the lower the bleed is, it's going to be red coming out. I mean, if you have an ulcer in your colon area, it's going to be red coming out. The longer the blood is in the body, out, dying, it's going to turn black. So that's the reason why it's black. But definitely, if you see black poop, call the doctor. It's not good. All right, so moving on. Now, the most common ulcer side effect from RNY gastric bypass is from people who smoke. I got a few pictures here. We're going to do some illustrations. So anyway, so here is what our insides look like. Straighten it out. Okay. Now, most people who have gastric bypass and get ulcers, it's going to be around this area right here. The entrance to the intestines, or the exit from your little stoma, your little pouch. That is one of the biggest known side effects as far as ulcers and people who smoke. So if you smoke, you might get an ulcer over there. Now, what I had for the second time in a row is I guess they're classifying it as a duodenal. Get these a duodenum ulcer, and the area that is in the bypass section, and it is over this area here. Do you have any idea how hard this is to not look at the picture and do this from looking at the video? Yeah, so here. So the ulcer was here and was bleeding very bad. Last year I got 9 units of blood, and that's about 3/4 of the body's blood. Just to give you an idea of how much bleeding I had done, and if I was not in a hospital, I would have died. Simple as that. Being in the hospital, there was no worries. But if you were out in like the Congo safari somewhere and you cannot get blood, you would die with this amount of bleeding. But anyway, so if you can imagine, this is a very hard place to get to. If they do an endoscopy, they're going to come down here, go through your little stoma, and they can only go so far. right? And it really is impossible for them to pull like a U-turn and come up this way and get to where the ulcer is. It's impossible with a regular endoscopy scope. So the first time with the hospital last year, they did the endoscopy scope. They come down here, they didn't see nothing, obviously, because it's over here. Then they did the colonoscopy. They, you know what I'm saying, up that way, and it wasn't there because they couldn't see it. And it only goes so far. So there's another procedure out there called a double balloon enteroscopy, and it's a very specialized procedure. And the hospital that I was in is the only hospital in the state of Connecticut that does this procedure. And there is only so many hospitals in the country that do this procedure. And basically, this is it's kind of hard to tell, but this is like this is a blown up picture of the tool. This is the double balloon enteroscopy tool. Okay. Now, if you can see at the end, this is the camera right here, and there's like a balloon around it. And then right here, there's a sleeve. If you see the larger diameter, so this tube here moves freely from inside here, so it can go back and forth. And this is another balloon. So what they do, because you know your intestines are very I don't want to say spongy, but stretchy. They're a lot of lattice. Oh my God, where's my tongue? Elasticity. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, so they stretch, and when they're trying to put the endoscopy scope into the intestines, the intestines push away from it, and they can't get the scope down any further. So basically, when they use this tool, okay, they're able to push it as far as they can go, and then they balloon this up, and it'll hold the intestines stationary. Then they can push this sleeve, and this whole sleeve goes all the way to the camera and stops. Then they balloon that up, and then they lower the pressure in this balloon, and then they push the camera out again. So basically, they kind of inchworm all the way through your intestines. And your intestines are approximately 30 feet, 25 to 30 feet from your stomach to your colon, to your anus. So it's a long way to go. And you know, obviously it goes around and around. It's like a big bowl of jelly. I mean, it just sits there. Your intestines just sit there and float. So it's a very complex procedure. And the first time they did it last year, and she did go from top all the way down to the bottom, it took her 3 hours to get in and out. So it's a very complicated, long thing. And also, sending that thing through your intestines the next day, I mean, you feel like you almost got hit by a truck, because it's like almost like never going to the gym. You go to the gym and you work out. Yeah, all your intestines get all sore, and especially right here in your throat where they maneuver it a lot, is very sore the next day. Yeah, so the last year when they did go down all the way down, they didn't see it because, like I said, they cruised right by here and went all the way down to the colon. This is a very hard thing for them to do. This is one of the drawbacks of this surgery, is getting instruments into the old stomach. So in order for them to come down here and hang a UE and go up in here is very difficult. And also, this is another duodenal, or duodenum they call it. It's basically an intersection, and we have two. There's one up. Maybe there's one up here somewhere. I don't think it's directly connected like this. I think. Let me see if I can draw it. If you can see what I drew in here, it's not I don't think it's a direct connect. Okay, I think the intestine is folded over. Okay, causing a duodenum here, an intersection. Okay, so you have an intersection here, and you have your intersection down here. Now, when they're going down with the scope, it's very difficult to tell the difference which one is which. The proximity is close enough that they can't tell which one is which. So if they go on the wrong one, they're wasting time. They can go down, you know, they think they might be going in there, but they're going down the intestine. Very difficult. So what they actually have, part of that tool is they have a way of tattooing the skin, like just with really like with ink, and they can kind of they can mark it and then be able to go back to it. They know they're in the wrong one or such and such. So seeing that I had the same problem last year, or a similar problem, because we didn't know the problem was the same. They did a endoscopy and they went down and just checked it out and didn't see anything. So they, at the same time, I signed a consent form to drop a camera capsule. I actually got it back. I don't know if I can show you a picture of it. It's pretty cool. It's the size. It's, you know, it's the size of a large pill. Let's see how well this is going to come up. I don't know. Let me see. Nope, it ain't coming up. So anyway, basically it's a big pill, and it has a camera. It's got a battery. It's got some LED lights, and what's going on here? Sorry. And it just goes down the intestines, floats down, and takes a picture like every second. And you know, so they go. It takes like 6 hours to travel down through the whole intestinal tract, and you wear a device, and it sends a signal from inside your body to the device, and sends the images, and it stores it on a hard drive. So they download it, and it's almost like a movie because it's so many pictures. And they're able to see where it's been bleeding or where blood is, or you know, such and such. So they use that information, and so Monday afternoon I went. Well, back up. I noticed the black stool on Wednesday night or Thursday, and started setting some alarms off in my head. But it wasn't as dark as last time, so I was being a little optimistic. Then was a Friday night. I went on treadmill and I posted that you know, I had epic fail, because I mean, I tried to run, and not even 2 minutes I wanted to just collapse. I was so tired, and I thought, you know, it just wasn't my day. You know, I just trying to get into running and I just couldn't do it. I mean, but 2 minutes, it was like just weird. So I definitely knew I was weak, and on Saturday I was weak. So Sunday I went to the clinic, well, not the clinic, but the group that I go to. They have Sunday hours for established patients. So I went there, and she checked for blood, and definitely was bleeding. So I went back on Monday and saw the my GI guy, and he took my blood and said I was at 5.2 or something hemoglobin count, and he's like, you know, you got to go to the ER. So went to the ER Monday afternoon, and they didn't really do anything Monday besides they started giving me blood. They gave me two units of blood by morning, and then Tuesday morning I had an endoscopy, and they dropped the camera capsule, and then Wednesday at 2 o'clock they performed the double enteroscopy. They went straight into that area just to, you know, and they found the ulcer, or they found 2 ulcers that seemed like they had stopped bleeding already. There was 2 smaller ones this time. So they cauterized them, patched them up, and continued to give me blood. I got a total of 6 units of blood, and yeah, I mean 6 is a lot. I mean, it's not, you know, that's like over 2/3 of the body's blood, not quite 3/4, but I mean it's a substantial amount of blood. So as of right now, I'm feeling 100% better. I have a appointment on Thursday to get my blood count checked again and make sure that it's still on the rise, which I assume it is because I feel good. And that's about it. So I hope it doesn't happen to anyone else, but I want the word out there that if you get these signs, if you get black poop, it's not good. And it does mean that you're bleeding. And you should go to the hospital. You should go to your doctor as soon as possible to get it checked out. And you know, because if you got to go in the ER, you got to go, because having that much blood loss is a serious issue, and you will die from it. But anyway, that's it for this little update. And thanks again for everyone that all the prayers and well wishes and everything that everyone said. And you know me, as I'm in the hospital, I try to entertain everyone, so there was plenty of funny pictures and stuff like that. And because I'll just go crazy if I don't do stuff, you know. So I like to make everyone laugh. Anyway, guys, take care, and I'll see you later.